as promised, I'm bringing back the budget videos. Budget out not just the month, but we budget out every single paycheck. For us, we get paid every single Friday, so we're going to be budgeting out every Friday. It's actually Thursday, so I have access to my pay stub and my husband's pay stub, so then I'm able to update our budget for the week. And then I like to do this ahead of time, so that way tomorrow when the money hits the bank account, I know exactly where I'm transferring it, and then that goes a lot smoother. So we're going to be jumping on the Excel sheet. We'll take a look. For those of you who missed the monthly budget, I am in a transition from getting off of unemployment and working part-time for the Amazon warehouse. I did have a few people who are interested in hearing more about the Amazon warehouse, so stay tuned. I'll be bringing out a video for that. And I did mention that I might do a new series coming up where I budget other people's income and expenses just to see how you could change up your cash flow plan that way. So we'll see how we're going to implement those in the future, but let's get on the Excel sheet. The first thing I do before changing this, so we use our Discover It credit card for a good portion of our purchases: gas, food, if we end up eating out, our insurance now for our car and truck are on there, our Netflix subscription, our PlayStation subscription, our internet bill, and I think even our cell phones. So we transferred a lot of our bills over to the Discover It card so we can earn that cash back. And so we actually pay off the balance every week, not just every month. We pay it off every week, and that way we never leave a balance on there that we owe their interest, but instead we get cash back. So we earn average about $30 a month in cash back. These are the different accounts and stuff at the bank or with other places, and this is just how I keep track of where all the money is. And so I have a column here for the card. So the first thing I would do is go on to Discover and see what we owe, and I would line it up with its correlating category. So I have here $41.64 was for giving. We scroll down, we spent $194.19 worth of our grocery meal plan budget. We actually ended up spending $29.25. I actually had to buy a few shirts and a new pair of pants for Amazon because everything I had was not warehouse appropriate. And then we spent $71.66 on gas. This was part of a balance left over from the month before. Our insurance came through, internet came through, and then PlayStation, and then we actually purchased an edition on the PlayStations, another, like, they're called V-Bucks or something like that, for the girls. So currently on the credit card we owe $768.44. So I want to make sure we pay that this week. So I need to make sure I know what that is, so that way when I do this week's budget, I make sure that I'm going to have the funds available, and I might have to change some stuff up with that. So that's the first thing I do here. So I can actually see this $18.91, I have it. I have $7.99 and the $10.92. I just need to transfer that over. The $92 I actually have in the savings, so I just need to transfer that over. The $3.20 I have in savings, so I need to transfer that over. $71.60 we will have between what's left in savings and this week's bills. And then groceries we will have enough, and then that. So the only one I didn't have enough for is this personal care, the stuff that I ended up wearing, the clothes I ended up buying. So $29.25. So I actually need to add that into this week's bill this week. So $29.25. I need to put that in here and make sure that I cover that first, because I don't want to accidentally owe that. So this is one thing we're going to have to adjust. We're going to have to move some stuff around. So that's the first thing I do. Okay, that's going to be covered. Then what I do is I'm going to work on the actual paycheck. So my husband's base pay is 40 hours a week at $20.54 an hour. So that's what he actually had on his pay stub, the $821.80 or 60. So I'm going to make this black now because this is the true amount. And then on the actual amount, I'm going to go ahead and make this orange because now this is a number that we are working. His overtime, we did not anticipate any overtime, and he actually had about 2.5 hours of overtime. So I'm going to open this cell up now, and I'm going to go ahead and add that in. So he actually had $77.03 worth of overtime. Myself was actually a little bit higher than I thought it was going to be as well. So it was actually $561.75. So this was a combination of my, basically I'm going to get 2 last pays from unemployment. And then I actually ended up getting some pay for, I had to do online paperwork and online orientation for Amazon, and I got paid for that, and I wasn't sure if I would or not, so that was a little bit higher. So that's that, and we're going to open this up, make that orange, because now we're working these numbers. Another thing, a few other things I wanted to change while I'm up here. Ricky's overtime for next week, I'm actually going to change this to, I'm going to add 2 hours because they did a Sunday where they worked 10 hours instead of 8 hours. So I'm going to add that. So I'm going to change this to 554 58. My self-employment is actually more like it's going to be 47.87, so that's a little higher. So this is kind of what I do is if I notice changes that are coming up, I go ahead and try to make them when I know that they're happening. And then the same thing with my 11th pay. I actually need to take off, like $60. Those are updated now. Now we got to work our way down through the rest of the budget. So Ricky contributed to the 401k, so 8% of his income, so it's the 71.89, that's what it is. And this one I actually make blue, a nice bright blue here, because this is being invested. So it's not money that's spent and gone, it's actually invested, so I like to make it a brighter color. I am going to make this last one orange though, because now we're just working this overall total number here. Next one we have is our giving. So like I mentioned, we have the 41.64 on the credit card. We need to make sure we're covering that. So I'm going to make this orange now because now we have that money, or we're going to have that money in the bank tomorrow. And if you notice on the side here, let me bring this over a little bit for you. Under the card, the income card, I've lined that up now, that 41.64. And so I'm going to start lining up some of these other numbers as we get down as well. Now this $5 was automatically donated out of my husband's paycheck, so that's going to be black, and then this is going to be orange. So this is just the way I work my budget every week. Now the taxes are actually a little bit different than I anticipated, and we're going to update those real quick. So I have the combination of 10% of my unemployment goes to federal, and then we have to account for my Amazon pay and Ricky's pay. So I've kind of combined how much we paid to federal between all of them, and it was actually $42. So it was actually less than I estimated. So we're gonna make that black because that is money that is gone. We will not see that money. And I mentioned this with the last video. The reason I like to calculate this is because I like to just keep track how much are we actually paying in taxes, and then I refer back to the IRS website every once in a while to make sure we're claiming the right dependents, because we do have 2 kids, we make under a certain amount of money, and we want to keep more of our paychecks now instead of getting a huge refund. We do like getting some type of a refund, that way we know we don't owe anything, but we don't want to get a huge refund when we could actually be using some of that money now. Arizona state taxes was actually slightly higher than I anticipated. It was 21.21. Medicare, so I mentioned before, Donald Trump, our president, put in an executive order to get rid of Medicare and Social Security for the rest of the month, but that you would probably owe it next time. So neither one of our employers did cut that out, and it's probably a good thing, because if we're going to owe it back, we don't really want to owe it back. So the Medicare was actually 13 between, so unemployment also pays, I pay state taxes on unemployment. I do not pay Medicare or Social Security on unemployment. So now we're just getting into what was paid from mine and Ricky's official paychecks. And like I mentioned, I'll have one last payment on unemployment for next week, and then I'm done with unemployment. I'm officially off of unemployment. So Social Security taxes, we ended up spending, or we got charged $59.24. So some of these, you can see were a little higher, and some of them, like the federal, was lower. So it's just a matter of seeing that. So family life insurance is $5.59. That's a set amount every week, and the health insurance of $87.80 is a set amount every week. This one does, the long-term disability does fluctuate based on a percent, and I believe that calculated correctly for me at $324. Yep. All right, so now we're just gonna go ahead and open up all of these and make these orange. So you can color code your thing however you want, whatever visuals you like to use. So now we're getting into the rest of the bill. So I'm going to go ahead and make this orange. I'm going to make all of these orange, but then we have to go to the bottom and see what are we working with before we plug it into our other amount here. So as you can see, we actually have $129.67 to work with, because like I said, I got paid a little bit more, Ricky got paid a little bit more. Yes, we pay a little more in taxes because we mail a bit more, but that's that. So we know also, though, we have this, we are a little short on this check and we have a little extra on this check. We're covering the personal care that I spent, the groceries that we're going to pay. This is a full bill. So we're going to go ahead and change the part of the mortgage that we have. We're going to use everything that's left of this check. So we actually are going to do $562.28 into the mortgage. And this money, this is due for, this is our mortgage payment that's due for October. So we're gradually trying to get like 1 week ahead to be a full, almost be a full month ahead of when it's due. So out of this next paycheck, I only need $478.06. So that's gonna have this ripple effect. Things are gonna change down the line as well. So we'll come back to that. We're gonna go ahead and open this up now because we have, this is orange. We're gonna make these orange. And then we're gonna go ahead and plug these numbers into our income column here. So 562.28, I'll show you that here in a minute. Alright, so let me show you over here real quick. So like I mentioned, I have, these are our accounts. So tomorrow, Friday, mine and Ricky's money will be put into the income account. But I already know where is it at. So we have our giving, part of our mortgage, our food, our personal care, gas, insurance, and then these two bills, right? So tomorrow when we log on, we should have $1,000 in the income account. We currently have $872 in our necessities account. So what we do is when bills are due, so we try to get the money a month ahead or a few weeks ahead. When we have the money, some of this money will be transferred and we'll put in the savings account. Like you saw here, we do have some bill money in the savings account already. We have my cell phone, we have our solar, our water, part of gas, our insurance. So these things were everything that was put in last month for this month. So these are going to be coming, these are basically due this week. So this money is now going to get transferred into the necessities account, and then all of these are taken out automatically. You can see we have our truck and car payment. These are going to be coming out in a few days. These are due on the 5th and the 6th of the month. So again, this was money we had from last month to cover this month's bills. In this column, this is our emergency fund. So we're building up our emergency fund. We currently have 1 month of expenses in the emergency fund, and you'll see those lined up here. In addition, we have our deductible for our homeowner's insurance. So if something were to happen to the house and we had to file a claim, we have that $1,000 deductible put aside. And we have our $500 deductible for our car insurance. If we were to have something happen with the cars, we have our $500 deductible ready here. Now this is where we're going to stop. We're only going to have 1 month of expenses and those deductibles in the emergency fund for now. And then we're going to start, we're going to tackle our last savings goals for vacation for next year, and then we're going to tackle paying off my husband's truck. The goal is to pay off his truck within 1 year, and then to pay off my car within 1.5 years, and then we'll be putting all of that towards the mortgage and hopefully pay off our mortgage in 5 years. So we'll see. And then you can see here, these are just our investment accounts. So in Robinhood, I have $183 in there. I only have like 3 stocks. Those are dividend stocks, so I get paid, one of them I get paid every month, one I get paid every quarter, and I've just been playing around in there. Not a whole lot going on in there. My husband's 401k, he's had it for about 2 years now, so we've managed to put have $14,753 in there. That's a combination of what he's put in, a combination of what his employer has matched, and a combination of what it has gained. Stay tuned, I'm going to do a whole net worth progress report, and we'll see how all the numbers have changed over the last couple months. And then this is my Roth IRA. I currently have $482 in there. I basically invested $50 a month for a few months, and now I'm not contributing to it currently because we're going to focus on paying off my husband's truck. So that's just what we have sitting there. savings, this $434, that's for a medical bill that I may or may not have, but I put the money aside because if I do owe it, then I'm prepared and I have the money aside. And then the girls each have $500 in savings, and this was from the stimulus check that we got where kids got $500. So we just put their money in their savings account. They are both going to need braces at some point, so we're going to start saving up so we can pay cash for their braces. Excuse me. And then this $4,000 is for vacations for next year. We're going on 2 separate cruises. So one cruise for May, we're going to Alaska, is completely paid for, like this money is in there. And then we're going to be saving up for our Caribbean cruise, which will be in December. And we'll just have to see if those happen or not. I put a note down here. This tells me that I need to transfer $572 out of this account to put into necessities. So that way tomorrow when I log on, it's easy. I already know how much I need to transfer over. These are just some little goals, like for each month that we're trying to get to in our savings account. So it kind of shows me we've reached this goal and we're working on these 2 goals. That's pretty much how I would budget out the week, right? So I know where everything's going, and tomorrow when I log on, I will transfer it over. And let's see, I need to play with the rest of this budget here because as you see, we have these numbers rippling. To go 126.08. So we're actually going to be putting that up here. So we're going to delete that out and we're going to put all of that in there. So it's going to be $294.41, and then that will change this next one. We only need $75.42. Okay, so you can see how some of the numbers just kind of change and they kind of get pushed as we update the proper amounts here. So again, we have this extra money now, and these bills are covered, right? We have everything still covered. So that's going to be extra money. So again, we have some savings goals for our final vacation at the end of next year. So we're going to go ahead and put this money in there, and we'll reach that savings goal just a little bit faster. All right, guys, so that's how I do it. That's how I budget out. That's how I budget by paycheck. Like I said, the first thing I do is I log on to Discover. I see what we owe. I make sure that I'm going to have the funds that week to cover what's in there, and then I go ahead and update the weekly budget based on what we were actually paid, how much taxes were actually taken out, and then I adjust the rest of the budget based on either changes I know are going to happen, or like you saw today, we had an extra $126 that we were not planning on having this week, and so we were able to put that at the end towards our savings goals. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you next Friday. Bye.